As I drove to meet Jace, I thought of how hard it had been to enjoy the camping trip with Sam when I felt anticipation for my night with Jace building. I'd managed, though, with the help of a little tequila. I knew exactly how to get to the old Larkin property, and I hadn't been lying about kids thinking it was haunted. I'd heard more than my fair share of horror stories growing up, and believed every one of them. One glance at the rundown house, and it wasn't hard to. It was a 2-story farmhouse with chipped white paint, holes in the porch floor, and gutters that hung at odd angles. I pulled in behind Jace's glossy motorcycle and stared up at the house. It was still as frightening as I remembered. I wondered if Jace had bought the place or was simply renting. Either way, I couldn't imagine staying the night there, especially alone.
"You gonna stare at the house all night, or are you gonna come inside?"
Jace asked. He stood at the front door, his arms folded across his chest, in dark denim jeans and a gray t-shirt, barefoot. The sight of him made me think all kinds of things I shouldn't, mainly because I had a boyfriend. I slammed my car door shut. "Hi, how are you?" I asked lamely.
"Good, now that you're here."
I felt my face flush at his words, and my stomach did a flip-flop while I walked to the porch steps. I stopped on the first one, realizing I'd never made it this far, even as a kid, and fear pricked across my skin.
"Relax, it's not haunted,"
Jace said, holding a hand out to me.
"I swear."
I hopped up the remaining 5 steps, feeling fear tighten my chest, and interlaced my fingers with his. His touch was warm and soothing. I could feel it rippling through me and heating my blood.
"Come on in,"
he said. His amber eyes glowed in the hazy sunlight. I smiled and stepped inside before him. My jaw dropped as I took in the house. Gleaming hardwood floors, sage green walls, and a set of glossy wooden steps welcomed me.
"Not what you expected?"
Jace asked with a smirk, obviously noticing the astonished look on my face. "Far from it."
"I've spent the last month redoing the inside,"
he said, walking to another room. I followed closely behind.
"Still a lot left to do, don't get me wrong, but not as much as there used to be."
"I can only imagine," I said. "So, how long have you lived here? Did you buy the place or something?" I asked, trying to remember if I'd ever seen a for sale sign posted up. We made it to the kitchen, and I swore I'd never been in one so beautiful before. White cabinets reached all the way to the ceiling, and sparkling gray granite countertops and stainless steel appliances made up the room.
"I've been here for a little over a month,"
Jace said, gesturing for me to grab one of the bar stools to sit on.
"And it's my uncle's property, actually. He inherited it from my grandfather years ago. Nobody's lived in it since my grandfather passed, and I needed a place away from my family to stay for a while, so I offered to fix the place up while I was here."
I picked through his words, grabbing onto the few that stood out drastically to me. To stay for a while. I wondered how long that might be, before reminding myself for a second time I had a boyfriend, and this should all mean nothing to me. "Cool," I said, hoping to sound indifferent.